is I've been running into people who are in dire need of a property market analysis. They're thinking about listing their home. I run their market analysis, and then I never hear back from them. I don't see them go on the market with other agents either, and I've reached out to them, say, 3 times, and I don't want to continue to reach out to them and sound like I'm desperate. So what do you recommend?
Okay, thank you for bringing this up. This is something I talk about in a lot of my one-off trainings, and it really comes down to the modern consumer's journey. So when we look at the modern consumer journey, there's a point in time when somebody is ready and wanting to speak with you. But then there's a point in time, that could be days, weeks, months, years even, that they're going to start thinking about something, right? A stimulus enters their life. That might be you. It might be a postcard. It might be a sign. It might be something on the news that they're going to start thinking about it. But then they enter into a discovery period. And here's what Google says. Google says that 88% of all consumers, when a stimulus enters their life, the first thing that they do is they search for it, right? So what's happening is that during this discovery period, they're searching for information, right? They need to get, now certain personalities have a shorter discovery period than someone else. Like me, I have a long discovery period. I have to do search. I have to understand it. I have to these salespeople that send me something and then they blow up my phone. All they do is annoy me because they don't understand the way that consumers are. And all you have to do is look within. All you have to do is just look within with you. Whenever a stimulus enters your life, chances are that there's a 9 in 10 chance that the first thing that you do is you pull out your phone and you search for an answer, right? So there's nothing wrong with what you're doing, especially the reason why I say that is because they haven't listed it yet. So if it's not on the market, they're not using you to get a competing opinion. What they're using you for is exactly what our job is for, is to help educate them and help them along the lines in the process. So one of the things I would encourage you to do is whenever someone requests information from you, have something in there and saying, look, I have this monthly micro market report that shares with you what's going on with the equity of your home. It's delivered email. There is no cost. There is no obligation to it. Would you be interested in receiving an email from me once a month, just letting you know what's happening with the market? Most of the time they'll say yes, but that's how you stay in front of them without having to harass them. See, because it's not, see, a lot of people seem to think in the sales industry that if you're not harassing these people on the phone, that you're not doing your job. The key here is to stay in front of them. The key is to provide value so they see you as the authority, right? Because any salesperson that comes at me and they try to do a traditional sales tactic with me, number one, I see right through it, especially if they call me bro. If the first thing is like, hey man, or hey bro, or hey dude, I'm like, man, I'm not your bro. But anyways, I digress. Just stay in front of them, right? One of the things you guys will hear me say, probably 20 times over the lead generation, you have 2 goals for lead generation: find now business, but to build your database. Because if you remember from one of the classes last week, if you have a tight database, the conversion on direct business or referral business is anywhere between 6 and 15%. And that difference is how often are you in front of them? What kind of value of content that you're giving them? How do they see you as authority? And do you really have a relationship with them, right? So what I would, if you don't have those positions in place, don't call them. Do you have their email address? Okay. Come up with some information based on their house, their neighborhood, and just say, hey, I came across this. I thought you might be interested in sending it over to you. So you're giving, right? You're not following up. You're not trying to ask them to sell. You're not asking for anything in return. You're like, look, I came across this. I remember our conversation. I thought you might find this of interest. Please let me know if you have any questions, and then just send that out to them. And then just keep giving. Because what's happening is that if your market is like everybody else's market, all the realtors are going crazy right now. They're freaking out. They think that they need to harass everyone. And the person who's there to be a helping hand, they're the ones who are going to win most of the time. I got this guy that I know that's south of me. He makes 75 phone calls a day. He's He's a traditional seller. He's good at scripts. He's good at objection. He's spot on. But have you ever noticed when you start looking in your market, who are the guys that are actually leading the market and what they're doing? They have a sphere of influence. They have a lot of information that they're giving out. They have a monthly periodical going out. You know, they're there to provide help. I mean, what would you do if your doctor kept on harassing you for an operation? Right? Hey, Brett, you know, we talked last month and we talked about maybe taking out your gallbladder. You know, have you given any more thought about that? You want to get that on the books? No, it's not going to happen. Right? Does that answer your question, Brenda? Okay.